All right, well, thank you all for coming out today. As you know, we're in the midst of a rash of extreme gun violence in our city, and we wanted to talk about some of the things that we're doing and some of the root causes of what we're seeing and where we can go from here as a community. I wanted to begin with an impassioned plea for respect. I think what we need to see more of in our community is respectful dialogue, and our community leaders are at the heart of that, really need to be role models and examples of that. And we need to teach our youth to not resort to violence as a means of resolving their issues, whether it's the violence of the guns that you see on the table before you, or the violent rhetoric that we sometimes see heightening every conversation on social media or when we converse with one another. We need to focus on solutions, we need to be respectful of one another, and we need to have dialogue. And I'm committed to that dialogue. And in fact, that dialogue has been going on for months now, and I think we're going to be in a better position as a community to address some of this with some of the solutions that we're proposing in the budget for next year. And the Commissioner is going to talk about some of the specifics of the events that have been occurring here over the past several days, but I want to focus on solutions. And one of the ways that we are looking to solve this is by elevating our community policing component that we do here at the City of Harrisburg and reorganizing the police department. And you're going to see a proposal in the budget, which I'll be delivering to City Council next week, and we've been working on for many months now, to reorganize the Harrisburg Police Department to create what we're calling a Community Services Division. That division is going to be headed by a new captain, and it's going to include a new civilian director, and that director is with us. That's going to be Blake Lynch, who's being promoted from his current position. Blake is currently the only civilian liaison we have to the community, but we're looking to create an unprecedented 12 new full-time community service aide positions for the City of Harrisburg in the new year. These are positions that could be held by people as young as 19 or 20, just out of high school, or perhaps even a retiree who wants to get back to the community. Potentially, they can be a pipeline for a future job in policing, and they're going to allow our department to have greater capacity for quality of life issues and for the types of sort of day-to-day quality of life complaints that come in and sometimes have to go unaddressed because of our capacity, our trouble retaining and training officers. We're going to have 12 community service aides that are going to reflect the community, they're going to be assigned to the community, and they're going to help improve community relations. They'll be under Blake's direction and the Commissioner's direction, but they'll be part of this new division. In that division, we're also going to hire a new crime analyst, an analyst who is outward-looking and one that is working with the community to help make it more transparent, perhaps help us with our GIS mapping, our hotspots, so that everyone understands exactly where the crime is occurring. And we're going to create additional capacity in our technical service division by creating such new positions as a body camera manager or a records management system manager. These are things that the city doesn't have but that we really need, and all told, they are going to represent, prepare yourselves, for over $1 million in new investment in reimagining the Harrisburg Police Department. Far from defunding the Harrisburg Police Department, we're going to invest more than ever in it, but we're going to reimagine it and reorganize it, and we're going to make it more reflective of the community's needs and desires. We've done other things over the past months. We have rewritten our use of force policy in the City of Harrisburg. It now includes, based on the 8 Can't Wait initiative, a new mandate to intervene for our officers. There's been new training, new emphasis on things such as de-escalation and verbal warnings. And another component of the budget, which I think is equally important, is we're putting money in the budget for community partnerships. And we're looking to community organizations to work with the city and become a part of this solution. And I'll give you one example of a project which we are going to be unveiling called the South Allison Hills Safety Project in one of our targeted and most crime-ridden parts of the city. We're looking to work with valuable community organizations such as Light the Hill, Tri-County Community Action, Brethren Housing, the Latino Center, the Housing Authority, all of the groups in a combined effort to do things as simple as, in many cases, help homeowners install camera systems in their homes, or improve the lighting on their porches, or board up that house next door and put a mural on it instead of have it be, mow the grass and clean up an empty lot. We're going to work with Tri-County as the fiscal agent, but the city's going to fund this project. And in addition to funding the reimaginings in the police department, we're looking to fund our community partners. That's all part of the solution, but it all centers on a culture of respectful dialogue. And I look forward to having that dialogue. I think we've had it in Harrisburg to a large extent, as we discussed our new Community Policing Review Board, and was just passed about a week ago. I think we will need it as we move forward, because communication is part of the problem. We have individuals that won't tell us where the crime is happening, won't speak about where the guns are, but they know. And I want to turn things over now to comment further on this to Commissioner Carter. Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Welcome, news media. You're here to hear about what we're doing about the recent rash of shootings, the recent rash of violence, and the recent homicides. I want to start by saying, over a year ago, I spoke at a local church, and because my people have pointed out to me how gun violence is going up and is spiking, and we needed to do something about it. And we've been working on it, and I believe that we did a really good job of it. But I was asking for community partners. I was asking them to partner with the police so that we can save our youth, so that we can prevent some of these shootings, some of these homicides, some of these just atrocities that are going on, not only in Harrisburg, but like nationwide. It seems to me that my plea, my asking for help has fallen on deaf ears. Now I'm up here asking again, because I don't give up on people, especially our youth. I believe that they are worth saving. So as you look over here to my right, you see some of the weapons that we've taken off of the streets. You see some of the high-powered AR-15s that these here kids carry. This is nothing, because since 2016, I started a campaign in 2014 to take these guns off of the street, because we saw a spike in the gun violence, and we saw that juveniles were at a young age carrying these guns. So, but I got stats from 2016. From 2016 until now, we've taken over 1,067 guns off the streets of Harrisburg from our youth and other people. And I'm proud to say, I'm proud of my agency, because these are confrontations that we had on the streets with these juveniles without us taking anybody's life. But as time goes on, I know that it's just a matter of time until something happens. And we do not want that to happen. The mayor, myself, my command staff, we talk about it all the time. So again, we're pleading for people's help, to help us, because I don't want to be at a crime scene where one of my officers or a juvenile, get into a confrontation and it turns out ugly. I do not want that. We do not want that. The DA's office does not want that. People don't want to believe that we have a juvenile gang problem here, but we have a juvenile gang task force. Mr. Chardo and I were talking on Friday. I asked him for help. And so the local police agencies in the surrounding areas were able to put together officers to come into the city this past Saturday. And they did an excellent job, but it's unfortunate that we still had shootings here. People say, where's the mayor at? Where's Commissioner Carter at? Well, the mayor is responsible for economic growth in the city. The mayor loves the city and he cares about the city, but he cannot police people's kids that they should be doing themselves, and neither can I. But I'm willing to help you if you come to me. if you come to me. Everybody in the city has my telephone number. They know that I'm willing to help. But you got to ask for help because I don't know what's going on in each individual household within this city. Since October 16th up until November 16th, we had a total of 67 shots fired called that my officers responded to. 67 in a month's time. Out of the 67 shots fired call that they responded to, we have 24 victims. Out of the 24 victims, we had 4 homicides. I know that, every city across the country is experiencing this here spike in gun violence and, juvenile crime. But we're actively trying to do something here. But like I said, we need community partners. It's one thing to get on Snapchat and Facebook and to criticize, but what are you really doing about it? I know what we're doing about it, but what is anybody else doing about it? I can show you what we're doing about it because we got 1,067 guns off the streets of the city from people that should not have them. And I know that people out there love the city as much as I do. I know that they love the youth as much as I do, but right now we're in the middle of a perfect storm. We have a pandemic, we have a school system that is closed. Students should be virtually learning. They shouldn't be out here running the streets. We have a situation where they were giving out the PUA money, the COVID money. People were able and smart enough to receive that money that shouldn't have that money, and they went out and they purchased guns with it. Right now we're working with the state, county, and local law enforcement agencies along with the federal government to eradicate some of this gun violence. And what you see in front of your face is us out there doing patrols, trying to stop the gun violence. But what you don't see is the things that we're doing that we're not showing, and believe me, people will answer for this. I can't tell you when, but they will answer for it. We're in the middle of people, just doing straw purchasing, just doing a whole lot of things that they should not be doing. We're addressing the problem. I want Harrisburg to be safe. I want every child in this city to grow up and have an education. I want the kids to be able to go outside and play. We just seen the video last week of an 85-year-old lady scrambling for her life. Scrambling for her life. We have a lot of property shot up. And property crimes, that's what make the insurance and everything else go up. People will not leave the city because of the gun violence. They will leave the city because, it will be the gun violence because these are the kids, they're not expert shooters. They're just randomly shooting and they're causing other people money. They're shooting up homes, they're shooting up houses, and that costs people money. Just the other day, while we're processing a crime scene on 5th Street where a young man lost his life, and God rest his soul, I know his family, beautiful people. 3 blocks over, they're breaching somebody's property with a shotgun. I know that people out here know where these kids get these guns from. I know they know where they're keeping these guns at. If your child isn't working and they're walking around like brand new stuff, you need to check their rooms. You need to come down on them because I don't want to go to a crime scene where it is your child. I take my hats off to my officers because every time detectives, uniformed patrol officers, every time I go to a crime scene, you know what I see? I see my officers out there putting tourniquets on people. I see my officers out there doing CPR and everything else, talking to these here victims, telling them, no, you're not going to die. I'm here with you. I'm going to try to save your life. I see my officers teary-eyed trying to save these people's lives. Nobody else. You can criticize all you want to, but the only people I see out there trying to do the right thing are my officers. Again, I want to help you to save your kids. I want to do the right thing. So I'm pleading with people out here that have information. There is no such thing as snitching. We're talking about saving the life of a young kid, giving them an opportunity to do something with their lives. Thank you. Mr. Lynch? We can take questions now if you have questions, Mayor.
Mayor, get you to the mic, please. So first of all, what's your reaction to the rash of gunfire, as the Chief Commissioner referred to it a few moments ago, that led to a homicide and at least 2 shootings over the weekend where people were shot? What's your reaction to that? And what can you tell us that the police have now confirmed about the motive that led up to the unfortunate homicide in broad daylight on Sunday morning?
I'll let the commissioner talk about the motive, but in terms of my reaction, it was devastating, it was heart-wrenching, and I actually came upon the crime scene while being a block away doing a conversation live on The Voice about community engagement and conversation, and here I am trying to get to that and barely able to get through the police, which were at that time going door to door and right in the midst of a tragic scene. So I extend my heartfelt condolences to all the families who are suffering from this, and I recognize the cost, the emotional cost that this is taking on our families and on our community. And this is why we have to work together to make progress. And my job is to make sure that we have resources, and that we put those resources in the right priorities, and that the city is out there funding the types of partnerships, the types of initiatives that we want to see. And it's also my job to support the efforts of the police when those efforts are the ones that are out there day in and day out, trying to bring peace to our streets, and to reinforce the need for respect and cooperation. And I look at those guns and I think to myself, absolutely, people knew where those guns were before they were used, and they didn't come forward. And that's part of the message here today. But Commissioner, do you want to talk? Is there anything else that you can share with the media about the shooting that happened?
Commissioner, do you believe that this was a case of youth violence, along with what you can tell us about the potential possible motive and what you know about the victim?
I'm going to let Sergeant Gouch answer that question about the Sunday shooting. He's in charge of special operations. He deals with a lot of the shootings, the violent crimes, and the homicide. Sergeant?
He's asking about the
And could you identify yourself again, please?
Yeah, Sergeant Kyle Gouch. I think I spoke to you earlier on the phone. In reference to the homicide, there's not a lot of details we're going to be able to provide. Obviously, the homicide is still under a current active investigation. In reference to the motive, in reference to anything specific, we're just not at liberty to release any information due to the pending investigation that's going on.
Can you identify the victim?
I am going to release the identity of the victim, but it's not going to be right now. Again, I think I spoke to you on the phone about that. The detectives were speaking with the victim's family, and until I confirm that that was done, I won't be releasing the name. The name, if that's done, and I'm assuming it's going to be done today, the name will be released later on in a Crime Watch blotter. I'll amend or adjust the Crime Watch blotter that was sent out yesterday afternoon.
Commissioner, just a follow-up, your own reaction to the fact that over 4 days, 2 homicides in the city of Harrisburg, plus numerous shootings.
My reaction, I'm sorry, I forget about this sometimes, but it's definitely needed. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy when we try to reach out to people and to let them know, just what's going on here, and, we get no help or very little help. I want to recognize Kevin Maxson standing right there. Him and I have been talking, standing behind you. Him and I have been talking, and, he's really concerned. He speaks out regularly about this. And we do have some people who are concerned, but we have other people, it falls upon deaf ears until it knocks on their front door.
You mean, Commissioner, you're not getting any help from the community in terms of the folks responsible for this latest homicide?
Well, as Sergeant Gouch said, we really can't talk about that. Hopefully people will come forth, and, help us out, because, we can't do much without the help of the public.
Commissioner, you had talked about reaching out to organizations maybe last November.
Yes.
To partner with you and your officers, your department. What's your ask of them? What are you asking from them? And maybe why, maybe is that part of the hesitation for them not wanting to partner with your team? What are you asking from them, and then what is the hesitation, you think?
I'm simply asking them to help me to eradicate the gun problem, to get some of the guns off of the streets. I'm asking them to stand up, to be that they're a bigger person, to be responsible, to be a parent. If you know that your kids are doing something, they're carrying guns, they have guns that they shouldn't have, or their friends have guns that they shouldn't have, don't agree with them. If you don't want to turn your kid in, take the gun, contact a community leader, or just call me and, drop it off someplace and we can pick it up. We're not looking to charge everybody because we all know that locking up people doesn't work. But however, at this point in time, we don't have any other choice but to make sure that all citizens of the city is safe. It's not about a few, it's about the whole. And we want to ensure that everybody, the 85-year-old woman, the little kid who wants to be outside playing, that they're safe. We want to make sure that those kids that want to get an education, that want to learn, that want to go on, that want to make something of their life, that they are safe. We want to make sure that the parents that go to work every day, that they can go to and from without worrying about being robbed or shot when they get off of the bus. This is a perfect storm because like everybody out here right now, people are wearing masks because of the coronavirus. So identification is hard. It's hard for us to ID these people, and they know it. But we're going to keep working at it, and we're going to get it done. I'm just asking for the communities out there, that have the same love in their heart as we do up here standing, that they will come forth and they will try to help us out. I want to say, that to the frat house, 20th and like State Street, those brothers out there, they care. I want to say to some of the church leaders, the mayor's faith-based church organization, Pastor Dill, Pastor Jackson from Goodwin Memorial, all those are people that have always reached out to me, and they care and they want to help. But I need parents of these kids to reach out and also help so that we can help you.
Commissioner, could you speak about the police effort underway right now to solve the latest homicide and the one a few days before?
Well, right now, I just want to say that I believe, and you correct me, Sergeant, if I'm wrong, I believe that the one uptown from Thursday and the one from yesterday are totally different. They had nothing to do with each other. So that's basically all I can say about. I can't get into anything because the investigation is ongoing and they're still fresh. It's a tragedy that they even happen. They shouldn't happen. I can't think of a reason why somebody else would want to gun down the other person over a couple dollars, over a gang or something like that. To me, it makes no sense. It is no justification for it.
Do you believe that the latest homicide and the one on Thursday are the result of gang violence?
Just if I could speak real quickly, just based upon the information we have as of right now, we don't believe the one from yesterday was gang associated at all. The one on Thursday, we're still actively investigating all parties that were associated or involved.
Could you vocalize that, Commissioner? Because he was off mic.
Well, as my sergeant said, Sergeant Kyle Gouch, and spell his name correctly, he is saying, that no, we do not believe that the one from yesterday is related to any gang violence, and we're still investigating the one from Thursday. Anything else? Okay, we thank you for coming here, and I hope you know that this reaches the people that it should reach. And once again, Harrisburg, I need your help. So please come out and please help. If you have any questions, my cell phone number is 717-585-3903. It's open to anybody who wants to help. Thank you.